Okay, guys. So once again, we have Morgan from Coyne Health, and I want to thank you all for the response to the previous videos we've done. If you haven't seen them, we've done one on curcumin and we've done one on vitamin C. And the interest, Morgan, in the compliments you're getting are brilliant.
Thank you.
The views on the videos, each one of them has been over 1,000 views so far, and they're only up a week. So that's been great. And I've been getting calls or texts from people who bought the products, and within 24, 48 hours, they're already feeling a difference in the body. Yeah. And they're coming back saying, oh, wow, that's been really fast. So thank you very much for giving that information out. And as I suppose, yeah, the products are so good. So today, I'd like you to fill us in on magnesium. And before we do, if I can just, it's a supplement that I've been aware of for a long time. I've sold it at the clinic. We briefly spoke about it last week when I said the one I was selling for many years was a transdermal form of it. But like before I met someone like you who can give me lots of information, what I normally do is when something grabs my attention, I'll go and find books on the subject and I buy the books and I educate myself that way. And I read a great book a few years ago called The Magnesium Miracle. It's written by a girl, she lives in Hawaii, Dr. Carolyn Dean. She was a medical doctor and now she's a naturopath. She left the medical system. And it was so informative. So my idea of magnesium is basically it's the #1 mineral, or is it a vitamin or a mineral? It's a mineral.
It's a mineral. It's a mineral.
Yeah. And I personally have been bathing in it for years. I bathe in magnesium chloride at least 4 times a week. I put 1 kilo into the bath. I mix it with bicarbonate of soda. I put 1 kilo of bicarb in as well.
Oh wow!
And I have to say, as a therapist and someone who was always very busy, at the end of each week, I used to meet a friend of mine and we'd work on each other at the end of the week because we were just worn out. We'd be aching and have muscle pain. And he moved out of the area, and it was at the time when I was discovering magnesium, and I started doing these baths. Every day I would work, I would have a bath either before or after. And I didn't need that massage at the end of the week, you know.
Amazing, yeah.
Personally, I was seeing, wow, that's really making a difference. But my idea was that it stops things like as we're getting older, and I think of it as we're going hard. We're getting arthritis, we're getting hardening of the arteries. I'm trying to keep it simple for people. And lo and behold, the answer to all this seemed to be magnesium, that it fights, or it's like calcium and magnesium fight in the cells for space. And the calcium can win over because we're overloaded with calcium through our diet and all this. And through stress, we're burning up all our magnesium. So therefore, it's so important to use it. That was my idea of it. So I'll hand over to you and let you tell the truth about
it. Well, Mark, you're on the money. I mean, they spoke about. I read a book. It's a couple of years ago by Mark Hyman, and it's actually called the calcium paradox, because what was happening in America is that, you know, this 2 glasses of milk a day keeps the doctor away for kids was actually doing completely counterproductive. It was overloading the body with calcium. And that's generally what the average diet has got these days. You know, people are getting way too much calcium in. And what does calcium do? It calcifies. Yeah. And that's how you get things like arthritis and neuritis and all the words with ptysis at the end, which are bad. And it creates havoc. You know, if you can't shuttle calcium into the bones with using things like D3 and magnesium and other vitamins and minerals, you're just going to have an overload of this stuff floating around, and it's going to create havoc. It's going to cause plaques around the heart, arteries, and it starts becoming dangerous.
Yeah.
So magnesium, I mean, this is now a mineral. I mean, the stats are crazy. They say about 80% of the world, or 2/3 of the world, is magnesium depleted.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It is a mineral that is completely dependent on soil, mostly soil. So if you're someone that lives out in the Midlands on a mountain, and you know, and you've been farming yourself and you're eating organic, cool, you don't need magnesium. But you know, 99% of people do need magnesium. And that's just generally because our bodies utilize so much of it. I mean, it's responsible for about over 300 mechanical processes. And that's from creating GABA for serotonin, for cramps, for sleep, for digestion, for all these different functions that we need to cope to day. And what generally happens is what I've come across just being in this industry for so long is that, you know, you get people that want instant gratification. The moment that they get sick or they get tingles, you know, this loss of sensation in their hands and their feet, they start freaking out. They go to the doctor, and 9 out of 10 times is they're actually just really, really magnesium deficient. You know, you're out working hard, you're stressing, you're sweating, you're letting all these minerals, all these trace minerals going out your body. And if you don't put back what you're losing, you're generally not going to, you know, you're generally going to be running at suboptimal levels.
So if I stop you there on that note, and this is just something as somebody who worked to a very high level of sport in my time, and I still today, I go to the gym 5 times a week, and I'm always saying to guys, again, is this a true statement? I'm always saying to guys, when you're sweating that much, you're burning up your magnesium. It's very important you get it back in. Is that true?
100%.
Yeah.
So true. And, you know, it's one of those things that people don't take, man. I was helping, another customer out with their kid that's not sleeping. And, you know, you've got school that started last week, concentration levels. And I just go back to the basics, right? I said, first of all, get your kid off all the crap for as much as you can, fix up the gut, and then implement a basic. You don't even need vitamin C. Bring in magnesium, because if you've got magnesium in your body, it can start facilitating all the right hormones, all the right chemicals. You know, I was telling, our bodies are walking pharmacies. All that we need to do is just facilitate the right minerals to get from A to B to C to D. And that's generally magnesium. It's a wonderful transmitter. And we are also so depleted. And a lot of the time we don't get the right forms of magnesium in. So, I mean, you know, there's various forms of magnesium. Some increase magnesium uptake in the brain, some magnesium uptake in our tissues. But I'm just generally, I'm like you. I love the transdermal. I use the brand Better You. They bring in a magnesium called a Zeichstein magnesium. It's from a German channel between the UK and Germany, and it's marine magnesium. It's phenomenal. It's chloride. But it's nature chloride, and then ingesting it. And I'm a citrate fan, just because citrates, that's where all the clinical studies are done on citrate. You know, we can talk about glycinate and taurinate and all these fancy names, but those things cost quite a bit of cash. And you know, if you look at the clinical data and you want to mimic food, you just need a really good citrate, and that's when our liposomal magnesium comes into effect, because we've really tried to mimic what nature would give us in magnesium. So we've added in a little bit of prebiotic fiber. We've added in some phosphatidylcholine. We've added in the liposomal, and you know, we've really formulated a magnesium to replicate eating food. And that's it. Yeah, and it's such a simple product, but it does so much. And I always say, if you don't know much and you're having symptoms of you know, no sleep or cramping, or you're stressed, or your mood is down, go to your basics first. And if that doesn't work, fine, then you can go book a consultation with your GP or your practitioner, you know. So it's so important. Yeah,
you said 300 processes in the body. That book I read, that Magnesium Miracle, she speaks about 900.
I mean, come on, Mark, there we go. I mean, we just know of 300. Can you imagine 900 processes? We like this like protein mechanical machine. And if we don't, 900 processes is crazy.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
It drives that much, you know, so yeah.
But yeah, people are just deficient though, you know, they're just not taking it.
Of course.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Well, if working out, you lose it working out, you lose it sweating, you lose it when you're stressed, you lose it when you're eating bad food. It's seemingly, it's the first line of defense for bad food, alcohol, smoking, all the things we love to do. We're burning up on magnesium.
Exactly, because if you think about it, I go drink some alcohol, you know, or just go eat some fast food, you know, the very thing that facilitates that fast food in my body, it makes it metabolized and processed and excreted, is magnesium. It's
Yeah.
magnesium shuttling all that stuff out of my body, right? So if you've got low amounts of magnesium and you've got, let's say, mitochondrial dysfunction, man, oh man, you are gonna feel really rubbish. Sorry, I lost you there, Mark. Yeah, but you're gonna feel.
We could hear you.
You're gonna feel really rubbish.
Yeah.
And yet, so many people are deficient. I work out a lot, and I've even had symptoms of, pins and needles in my feet and my hands for weeks. And I wasn't using magnesium. It was a few years back, and I was jumping to all these conclusions. I've got neuropathy and all these stupid things. And I just upped my magnesium. I just took a triple sachet for 4 days, and I got that feeling back. And it's it's very
funny.
special stuff.
It's funny as you say that. The transdermal product I used for so long, it's no longer available to me. And I haven't been using it. I've been keeping the few small bottles I have because I use it as a deodorant. And I'm like, get into my lymph glands, it'll get into my system. And I've been using it sparingly because I haven't got any of the Coyne Health until I go back to Ireland next week. But what I've been noticing, I'm here in the heat. I'm working out in this heat in Spain. And I've been noticing the last few weeks, I'm starting to get cramps in my legs. And I'm thinking, where's my magnesium? What's happening, Because the other thing, I always bathed in magnesium salts, that magnesium chloride. I was buying them from the same company, quite expensive. My baths would cost me maybe €15 to have a bath and that stuff.
It's expensive bath,
But I've been using sea salt down here in Spain. I can pick that up very easy. I can't get the magnesium chloride handy enough. And I'm noticing I'm getting cramps lately. And I was questioning myself, am I using the right form of magnesium right now? What's happening here, And with this heat, I'm obviously sweating more and everything, So it's interesting. I can't wait to go back to Ireland to get this product myself,
I mean, transdermal is a great way because it bypasses the gut. I mean, if you want to go take a long Epsom salt bath, that's great.
Yeah.
But I think, when you live in a chronic lifestyle and a toxic lifestyle that we generally all do, you're going to need it systemically, meaning that you're going to have to take quite a high amount and keep facilitating it throughout the day. And that's when the liposomal magnesium comes into play, because we formulated a magnesium it's 250 milligrams of elemental magnesium. So not a lot of companies talk about elemental magnesium. They just give you a number. They go, what does that mean? And that actually means that full 250 is magnesium, because sometimes you get portion of magnesium and different salts, and they just give you a number. So we use a full 250 milligrams of magnesium, and then we've added in prebiotic fiber. So you can imagine that the fiber now is assisting the gut. It's binding onto the magnesium. It's almost mimicking food. And then it's a liposomal. So a portion of the magnesium will be uptake very quickly, and then a portion of it will be in liposomal and will be sustained throughout the whole day.
Okay.
So it's a great thing to take. I mean, we do one that's flavorless. You open up a sachet, you put it in your water bottle. It tastes like nothing, and you sip on that throughout the day. I use it before bed because it helps promote GABA. And
that's what I wanted to ask you about, people with sleep problems. Yeah, I've been recommending take it before bed. Yeah.
Take it before bed. I mean, it's not going to be one of these things that all of a sudden, the light goes off and you're sleeping, especially if people that are generally using a lot of sleeping medication, right? So you've got to be diligent. But I can tell you now, utilizing magnesium every day is going to fix more than just your sleep. It'll really help. Yeah.
It's also, I believe, good for anxiety, is it? Again, that's
very good for the central nervous system. Yeah. Very, very important. I mean, I had a training a while ago with people in Ireland, and they were talking about people that are on these antidepressant drugs and the psychotic medication. They get like these clenching jaws.
Yeah.
And the central nervous system's going, and that's because you're magnesium depleted. Your body's looking. It's a side effect of not having enough minerals.
Yeah.
So it's such an important product, but time and time again, people just don't see the importance in it.
Yeah, it's like the general, and again, to hear you saying this to anybody who's listening, it's great. I've been saying it for years, and if you're anxious and it's constant, I meet a lot of people who come to me that are like this, unfortunately for them. But that, to me, it just makes so much common sense that magnesium is so important, because when you're constantly anxious, you're burning, you're on the go all the time. So it's like working out, you're just burning up all that supply, you know, and it's so important to get it back in. Yeah.
It's, you know, the thing about being stressed is, Mark, is like, you know, back when, you know, our ancestors were facing, you know, lions in a cave, you would have momentary stress, run away, calm down. Yeah. But the stress that we have now, it's like being in a starting blocks for a race, and you're stuck in that position. Yeah. So it's almost like, and the gun's just about to go off, but it's not going off. Yeah. So your central nervous system's now got to burn up all this cortisol, and remember, cortisol will get excreted out of your adrenals, and will just start chowing and eating up your magnesium stores, because it's such a readily free mineral in the body. So I recommend anyone, before you even, you know, go to the curcumins, and you go to the vitamin C's, and you go to the CBDs, and you go to all these cool plants, which have got amazing benefits, I would just start off with the basics and, you know, get your magnesium levels up, because there's no point of taking CBD and all this other stuff if you've got very low amounts of magnesium that can't shuttle it and transport it where it needs to go. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you that. You've answered that. That's great.
So really, and it shouldn't be a cost. I mean, our magnesium product's probably one of our most cost-effective products, and we've just made it really, really easy for people to understand. And it's in liposomal. You know, you don't need to take massive doses of it, and it's great. You take 1 sachet a day. It's great for the guys who want to put it in a juice bottle, go train, or, you know, you're riding your bike and you want to have a few sips on it. It's so easy, really easy.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So that in general, so just in summing up, the people, the sports guys, girls the sport industry has taken off great since the last depression or the last recession we had in Ireland. So they all should be taking it.
Everyone,
all the people with anxiety, they should be taking it as well. Yeah. And then
it's remember, Mark, magnesium is an adaptogen. So when you stress, it makes the body adapt to stress. So if you don't have an adaptogen, you're going to be really, you're not going to have your shield when it comes to battling that stress. So
great. And then it's also really good for arthritis. I've seen that myself with the transdermal. So this getting it into your blood is going to get in there and get around and do the same job as regards pain.
It's going to get around. I mean, magnesium back in the day, if you just take normal citrate, it's got quite a laxative effect, because what it does is it relaxes the bowels, and it pulls all the water into your stomach. So, you know, what people need to realize is that, you know, it's great for that, but if it's in liposomal, it's not going to give you a laxative effect. It's very gut friendly, and you can have magnesium circulating in your bloodstream for the entire day. And then you're getting the benefit of the liposomal, which is a compound called phosphatidylcholine, which is made naturally in our bodies, and it just helps facilitate that whole cell metabolic rate. And it's so easy to take, man. It's just so easy.
It's a no-brainer by the sounds of it.
It's a no-brainer. It's really a no-brainer.
Okay. Well, we'll end it on that note, because that makes sense. Okay.
So one sachet a day. If you are very magnesium depleted, I always say you can go up to 2 sachets a day. Do that for about 2 weeks. Then you lower it. You'll know when your magnesium levels are good. Trust me, if it's making up for 900 effects in the body,
you're gonna know.
You're gonna know. And I always say, devil's in the detail, right? So you'll probably feel that you're getting up a lot earlier, or you may be sleeping a bit longer in the morning, or your memory functions a lot better. And just monitor those things.
Just take it from there. Yeah. Okay.
Just take it from there. Yeah.
That's great. So great. Okay. So let's hopefully we get another 1,000 hits on this and help more people out there. I've had people waiting on this. They're all just waiting for it. Come on, where's the next one? Where's the next one? You're becoming a superstar in my world here, Mark.
Oh, cool, man. I gotta come hang out in Ireland soon. You know, Mark. I think when things ease a bit in the lockdown and stuff, I'd love to come hang out and talk about new products that we're launching. We're doing a saffron from Spain. You know, we're doing the broccoli sprout, and man, nature's got some interesting stuff at the moment. So it's as I take these products on board at the clinic, I'll be getting you to do this again for each one. Okay, so cool. So that's great to have you again. Awesome. And thanks so guys.
much.
Thank you, listeners. Thanks, Mark.
Okay.
I'll chat to you soon.
See you again.
Cheers,
Bye. So guys, again, what brilliant information, and I can't thank that guy enough. And well, like I said, for anybody who hasn't tried the products we spoke about, the feedback has been great. They're selling themselves, and there may be some waiting lists on some of the products. It's like I can't keep up with stock at the moment, but just if you want to try them, let us know. Go onto my website. Again, it's markcleary.net. The shop is there, and we'll get the products to you as soon as they come in if we're out of stock. So good luck and thanks for listening. And for anyone who's interested, I'm back in Dublin this coming weekend for 2 weeks. So if you need me, I'll be at the clinic. Okay. Talk to you all later. Bye.